You mentioned before that you were coaching 180 clients, customers, students a day, like
Yeah.
some years back for Jasper. And through coaching that many people, obviously you have a lot of time to like work with people and develop their habits and change their habits on a daily basis. You're working on very specific points of action each day. And the bigger picture of what we're talking about and like future of education and like where we're going with that, you've already built a program and a model with like coaches to come and help with doing the micro coaching and other things. How do you see that model like applying to students at colleges or like the existing like university level right now over the next few years and evolving on that scale?
Knowledge is knowledge. The speed of learning will be probably like 10x because it's based on your attention level. And because the speed is 10x, you will finish your degree in 1 year. This usually takes 3 to 4 years. And why should you? Because your degree will not be useful in 5 years anyway. So you better learn it in 1 year, use it for 4 years before AI will take it over, because you will need to learn another skill in another profession. There will not be times anymore to study for 4 years in universities. You have to finish in 9 months because of the speed of the world. So this is what I see for the future. How do I see it? What if there was a different kind of university using all the technologies around, put it inside? Let's go for it. I know how to build it. Today, I'm an AI expert. I'm not an expert in AI. I don't understand how to do machine learning codes and stuff. But to do a deep understanding, because we have a strong team here and I'm leading them. So this 10x learning is possible if you have some kind of common denominator model. What I found between all those elements, and there are more subcontext of elements behind it, that if I will connect all of them together, I will have the perfect machine to let people learn something in 1 year instead of 3 years, and totally personalized to your own attention level and everything else. Okay, and to grow your intelligence and to use pattern recognition and other models in there. So this is what I shared with you, Darby, if you remember. And this is all an outcome what I was doing the past 3 years. Before that, I was 20 years of a coach consultant for many companies. And before that, I was a jazz musician. I trained more than 3,000 professional musicians around the world. I was charging $100 per hour, not per hour, per 15 minutes lesson 40 years ago. It's $1,000 per 15 minutes now. And the reason I was able to do it because I'm a methodology writer and I use mathematics for everything. So everything that I was trying to figure out how to talk to Jasper was based on math. The logic of Jasper, the logic of GPT, the logic of technologies, okay? When you understand technology, you can communicate with it. Yeah, you can use some prompts, it's fine. Yesterday, I was in a group of people who are very enthusiastic about AI and in a couple of groups. And some of them said, oh, GPT-4 is coming. Now you can write a book of 200 pages in less than 10 minutes and make a lot of money. So I answered back, no, sir, you will not make money. I'll tell you why. If you can write a book in 10 minutes, it means that you can write 10 books per day. Every hour, 1 book for 10 minutes. Like you, there will be 300 million people can do the same. At exactly the same level, at the same quality. Which means for you that there will be 5 billion books being created every day. Who will buy them? More than this? Why would you need to buy a book that somebody wrote? Put the prompt on your machine and on Jasper, and it will write for you the book. End of Amazon. It's not like that, and I'll tell you why. And that's the big difference. Why do I make a conversation with GPT? I'm not using GPT, I'm using Jasper, but I know the backend is GPT. So why do I communicate this way with the machine? Because within that conversation, I can bring my own insights. I can bring my own abilities and my own talents. Let me tell you something about technology. Technology is just an extension of our abilities. It's not instead of. Yes, in some ways, yes. When it's come to physical work, yes. Intelligent work, yes, AI. But it's just an extension. If you buy the best piano in the world and you put a guy who has no talent, he will never be able to play. So is technology. When I use GPT, it's not like everyone else will use GPT in order to create something meaningful, something innovative, something that Jasper will never be able to do, nor GPT, because of the way I think. In order to teach Jasper to write the way you think, with your experiences in life, okay, with your abilities, with your own talents, with your own emotional worlds, you must be a part of the conversation. I said to them yesterday, guys, you're totally wrong. You see, somebody invented a car as an extension. You can drive 100 miles per hour, but you cannot run 100 miles per hour. However, if you will use only a car and you will never drive bicycles or walk, it will drive you very fast, okay, to a dead zone. You will not live more than 50 years because you do not exercise. Train your brain. But train your brain in sync with what's happening in the AI world. But train your brain, because if not, GPT will eat you for lunch. And when I said it, they created a meme out of it, and thousands of people went, oh, Opher said, GPT will eat you for lunch. You need to understand, now is the time to develop the brain, but to align it to what's happening in the world. Because our conversations will be between me and Jessica, me and Elizabeth, me and Rachel. But it might be that we will use a technology to communicate between us. And that technology is Jasper. Because we want to create a high level of communication model. And we don't want to spend too much time on writing or thinking or sharing. So we use enhancement to develop speed, abilities, and more knowledge that does not exist inside our brain. But without it, if people will not understand the language, and the language is not prompts, guys. That's not the language. It's a part of the language, yes, because it's an introduction to something. If I will show you how I write, I write a prompt. And then ask, please write for me like 1 or 2 paragraphs about it. But then I start a conversation, ask questions. And I'm saying, Jasper, you're wrong. This is not the way it works. And just create a conversation. And with that conversation, sometimes a draft that people do with, let's say, a prompt in 2 minutes will take me 2 hours to have a conversation with Jasper, okay, which is totally brilliant because it has more knowledge than I have. It's more knowledgeable, okay? And it knows how to speak well. Some people speak well and they say nothing. So in the end, it's how you merge the talents that you have with technology, and in between understand this language, how to speak to AI. And it's not with 1 sentence. It's a whole conversational model. That's what I do. You don't have to do like me. You can still tweak everything into something like prompts, but I'm telling you, it's not good enough. If I'll show you a conversation between GPT, it's because I'm smart. Yes, I am smart. I'm arrogant about it. It's fine. But I am smart because I trained my brain, not because I was born like this. If people will stop training their brain and let Jasper write everything for them, okay, the Jasper will not need you. Jasper will be able to go to Google Trends and write books by itself and sell them and do landing pages without you, just process it in place, and you will never make a dime out of it. Because it's possible. Technology-wise, I can tell you, it's possible. I'm a part of a group of 40 PhDs. 10 of them work for OpenAI. I know what's happening in the world. What in the world today was invented 10 years ago. The problem is that you have to prepare yourself for the next 10 years. So you need to know what's happening today that within a year will take your job.
And right now, when you're talking about focusing on today and the speed at which we're communicating and that AI is allowing us to create more content, like you highlight again and again, as we go back to this point, and even in our conversations in private, is the thinking and how you're approaching your communication with Jasper to help you communicate your message, but not lose your voice with it. And I think that's a big fear amongst people now is AI going to take over our voice? Is this really going to end a lot of things that are making us human and being more creative? When we're looking at the future of how it applies to education, the different screen layouts and interlaying all these different tools, ultimately that's to help us process and learn more effectively and then put what we're learning into action to accelerate that learning.